All right, Inappropriate Earl. We are back for more, and it's been a hot couple weeks. The 2-part Tommy Morris episode has been blowing up the internet. A lot of people wanted to get inside that person's head, and then Red Band, his episode in between was a killer. Jeremiah Watkins, one of the nicest people in LA comedy, has been the last episode that's killing it. But today, I don't get too excited about guests. I mean, every now and then I do, but this girl and I we're like best friends, but we don't know each other that well. And we have the same interests. We both come from money. We're both attractive people, and it's a miracle we didn't date. But that's not why she's on the show. We're both obsessed with Vanderpump Rules. She's one of the funniest girls I know in this town, and I don't say that lightly. So, Inappropriate Earl listeners, put your hands together for the one, the only Annabelle Desisto.
Hi, that was such a nice intro. Oh my God.
Well, I've always wanted you on the show, but I don't see you that much. So
I know I'm very mysterious. You never see me because I'm always at home watching TV.
And cats. So it's very, we're never, although I consider you a dear close friend, I never see you.
I know. We have like a very intense connection whenever we do see each other, which is very rarely though. But we're soulmates when we do hang out.
I see you once every maybe 2 months. And then,
Yeah, I'm like an eclipse. Like, it's very rare that we get to see each other, but when we do, it's quite magical.
Well, what have you been up to? What's going on in your comedy world? Because I really love your comedy. You're a character.
Thank you.
And I mean that in a complimentary way.
No, I love it. No, thank you. I am. I mean, I'm ridiculous. Nothing's going on in my comedy. That's so sad to say. I was honestly trying to think of something, but that's how bad I am in improv. I was trying to think of something impressive to say to you.
No, I don't want. Listen, that's what this show's about. Honesty. You don't have a website.
No, I bought one on GoDaddy like 6 years ago or something after seeing a Super Bowl commercial, but I never set it up.
Okay.
So I do have the domain name, but nothing is on there.
Well, I am the same way. If you go on earlskakel.com, some gay guy has a beauty advice blog. And I don't think his name's Earl Skakel, so someone is squatting on my website. So when I went to go online to look up stuff on you, because I like to be prepared, there was a Facebook page, obviously.
Yes, that's my only website.
And Twitter.
And my Twitter, which I've been locked out of for like a year because I don't remember the password.
And the only other thing was an article on your appearance on the Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
So let's bump into that. I know the show's not, because it's going to lead into our obsession with Vanderpump Rules. You were one of the many ladies to enter into the Jersey Shore house with the great situation.
Yes.
And I think I want to know, because I watch that show religiously. I see Ronnie walking around Equinox like a lost.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's like a lost mule. He looks like he's been lobotomized, and he's still got his affliction shirts on and great body. But I think people wonder, how real was that? Was that a setup scene where you got kicked out of his bedroom?
No, that was 1000% real and the most terrifying moment of my life. But what they edited out was that it lasted for like an hour of him like raging in my face, screaming at me. But they only edited it down to like 3 minutes where it looked like I was trying to sleep with him. Like, because I was at the door just sitting like in the door of the room being like, can I just have my shoes back? But it looked like I kept trying to go back into the room and he was yelling at me to get the fuck out.
And so
it was so awful. He's truly the most disgusting person I've ever met. And the most disgusting things he said to me weren't on camera. They weren't being filmed.
Like what? Like, because, I'm a big reality show junkie. I love those types of shows. And I watch them purely to go, wow, my life's not that bad. So what is a guy like this situation whispering into your ear off air?
When I first met him, because the producers just came up to us in the club and they're like, hey, here are some passes. You guys are the only ones who are allowed to go up to them. Why don't you go up to them and just say something to the guys? And like, I was a big fan of the show because I want to make it known that I was on the season where it was still hot, where it was still a big deal, like on season 2, like not season 6.
Huge show.
Yeah. So I caught it in like the prime before it jumped the shark. So this producers saw us in a club and they wanted us to go up to the guys. And like, I was like, I'm only a fan of the girls. I could give a shit about the guys. I just want to say hi to JWoww and like thank her for turning me onto this tanning product. And they're like, no, go up to the guys and like grab their dicks or something. Like, that's what the producers said to me. I'm like, I'm not much of a dick grabber. I'm not one to go up to guys at all, let alone go up and like grab their dicks is like, nice to meet you. But right then they got like kicked out of the club and Vinny and Polly came up to us and they were like, hey, we want to invite you girls back to the house and the girls want to hang out with you. And I was like, okay. And my friend looks at me and she's like, we're going. And my best friend, Lindsay, I've gone to so many houses with her for her to hook up with guys. And I just go because I'm afraid she's going to get like murdered. So that's why I went. Because like Lindsay was like, we're absolutely going. I'm going to hook up with Polly. So I went with her because I was afraid she was going to get murdered, which is stupid because they can't murder her on like an MTV show. But I went anyway. And so before we went into the house, it's not being filmed because they're like still setting up the cameras and everything. And situations like, hey, nice to meet you. You swallow? And I was like, no, do you? And he's like, oh, she got jokes. This girl got jokes, but seriously, do you? And I'm like, no, I seriously don't. And then he took his hand and like put it right up my dress. And he's like, are you wearing underwear? And I slapped it away. Like, this is all in like 10 seconds of meeting someone. I was just like, I went into shock. Like, I've never had somebody act like that towards me, let alone somebody I've seen on TV who's such a ridiculous person where he's not even like real. And so I told him, like, listen, I don't drink or hook up with anybody. I don't know how many like skank passes you guys have for this house, but like, do not waste it on me. Like, there are tons of like skankier, hotter girls in this club. I will help you find one of those girls. Do not waste like your one pass on me. I don't know how many you guys get. And he's like, no, I'm not that type of guy. I don't even want to hook up with you. And I was like, great. But the entire time in like the cab ride home, like he kept trying to touch me and put his hands on me. And I just like kept putting them back on him. Like when children touch you and you just like put their hands back on their body, like, nope. And he just kept doing that. I was like, this is going to be a date rape situation. We're not going to do this. So we get to the house and none of the girls are there. It's just the situation, Polly and me and my best friend. And we have to go into their room because we weren't allowed in any other place in the house. They're like, you guys just hang out in this room. And they're the tiniest beds. Like, they are like child size, like race car sized beds. So you barely fit onto them. So you have to be super close to whoever you're on the bed with. And he left me in the room for like an hour. So we were just talking to Polly and I was just like talking his ear off because I could tell he wanted to hook up with my friend, but I like didn't know what to do. So we're just like sitting there talking. And I was wearing a very tiny dress and I was afraid, you know, when you watch reality TV or any TV and they have to blur girls like boobs out or like their crotch because stuff is showing. I didn't want to be like one of those girls they have to blur out. So I got under the covers and right then he like ran in the room and jumped under the covers with me and my friend and Polly start hooking up. And so me and him are under the covers just staring at each other, fully clothed. And I have no idea what to say to him. So I'm like, so I think you drive like a Range Rover Sport. I saw in a magazine once. I drive that too. The turning radius on that is crazy, right? Range Rover Sports. And he's like, can you just shut the fuck up and blow me?
And he's being serious.
And he's being completely serious, which I thought that was hilarious. And I was like, no, I told you this before. And now I'm going to have to repeat myself again. I told you this isn't going to happen. That's why I tried to tell you back at the club and on the whole cab ride over. But you could probably still go get one of those girls. The club's still open. And right then he like kicks off the comforter, and he's like, get the fuck out of my room. Get the fuck out of my room. You're a fucking lying whore. Get the fuck out of my room. And just starts screaming at me and calling me a whore, which is like ironic because I wouldn't let him touch me. But it was awful. Like, it was the most terrifying moment of my life.
I mean, you were the furthest thing from a whore.
I mean, my makeup is very whorish, which is the look I do go for. So I was like trying to remain really calm because I didn't want to be on camera, like because it was the last night that they were in town filming. So the production crew told us that they're like, listen, we just have to mic you because it's like policy, but we already have all the filming done. We're not going to air any of this. Like, we can't air any of this. Like, you're not 21. We gave you this waiver. And I was like, okay. I didn't think anything of it. They also take your phone and your purse and everything from you. So you don't have anything. And so he's screaming at me and freaking out. So I'm trying to remain really calm so I don't want to get dramatic and have a problem. I'm like, I realize where you'd be upset. I get how it looks, you know, coming back late at night, I'm wearing a lot of makeup and wearing a very provocative dress. I understand where you would be upset. But in my defense, I did tell you, I was trying to like remain calm and like really talk it out with him, which I don't know why I thought I could get Dr. Phil with the situation. I'm like, he'll understand this, which was a big mistake. And he was just screaming at me for like an hour.
Because you wouldn't blow him on camera.
Because I wouldn't shut the fuck up and blow him.
Well, there you go, guys. That's an insight into season 2.
It was just so terrible. And I went out of the house sobbing as they're like unmiking me. And they're like, the production crew was like, you know what? Don't worry. We can't air any of this, but we're so proud of you. Like in the control room, all of us are so happy. You're the only girl who's come back to the house and not hooked up with him. So all of us are so proud. Like, we can't air this. It literally makes him look like a rapist. So honey, like, don't worry. You don't have to cry. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. Please don't air this. Because it was mortifying. And so a year later, after I moved to LA, I was in the shower and I start getting like 20 phone calls in a row. So I'm like, oh my God, somebody died, which was my first thought. And then my second thought was like, oh fuck, it's Thursday, Jersey Shore is airing. And I get like a bunch of calls like, you're on the preview for next week. And I was on the show, and the worst part of it was that they only edited it down to 2 minutes. But the next day, people were asking him in the house, like, oh, you fucked that girl? And he's like, I was thinking about fucking her, but I don't fuck ugly girls. She was too ugly for me to fuck. So I said, nah.
Really?
I said, nah. Like, he fucked Snooki. It's like, for me to be like too ugly for the situation to fuck, I was just sitting there like having all the people in my shithole town who I know are watching this and like writing on my Facebook, like, you're too ugly for him to fuck. He wanted to have sex with you. And like, it was just awful. And so I was too ugly for the situation to fuck.
Well, no, I think you were too pretty for the situation to fuck.
Like, but it was, I mean, thankfully, Pauly stood up for me. So I appreciate that. I wrote him a message on Twitter because he was like, nah, he kept trying to get it in, and he couldn't get it in. And then he flipped out on her, which is true. But
now, do you think girls who go on camera to bone the situation, or any of those guys, what do you think they think's going to happen? Like, do you think they think it's going to make their acting career pop off?
I don't know. I think that they just want to be on the show and want to be with somebody that they've seen on TV, because like that show was very exciting.
Season 2, it was like, huge.
Because I was so excited to meet the girls. I was so excited. So I think it's exciting just to be involved in like any show that you watch, and the fact that you could be like a part of it. And like some girls really did find them attractive, which is insane to me, because that entire body type and look is the least attractive to me. Like, I go for fat Jewish like male comedians, so they are the complete opposite of what I go for, but some girls like that.
And that's why you can't judge a book by its cover, because if I didn't know you and I just saw you on the street, like, well, this girl she looks like she'd like juice heads, and like I think that's what they call them on the show. Yeah. And guys, never be afraid to ask a girl out, because if you're a fat Jewish comic,
please,
with a little bit of cash. I mean, Annabelle, I just
want to be the thinnest, tannest one in the relationships. That's why I want fat. I like fat, pale, Jewish, like schlubby male comedians, like schlubby writers, anybody who's funny and smart.
So, guys, go on Annabelle's Facebook. We'll give out that info toward the end of the show, and
please,
you got to have a couple bucks to take her out, though. She's not a gold digger. But, you're not getting away with taking her to Jerry's Deli. You got to take her to the Ivy on Robertson, maybe.
Oh, my God. Please. You know how exciting that would be? I've never been on a date somewhere with cloth napkins, ever.
Like what? Like describe your last date. You don't have to say who it was. Where did he take
my
you?
My last date was. It wasn't even into the year 2015, which is embarrassing. The last technical date I went on was at the bar Birds. Is that what it's called? By UCB.
Okay.
And we sat at the bar the entire time, like on stools, like trying to fucking balance on a stool when you're in a dress and heels is fucking awful. And we stayed at the bar the entire time and had this fucking terrible first date with the bartender like watching us and being like, this is so awkward. And he felt so bad for us. It was just, it went terribly. Like it was so uncomfortable. The guy didn't want to talk about anything, like about his work. Cause I would ask him, he's like, I don't want to talk about that. About comedy. He's like, I don't want to talk about that. So we literally were, he didn't want to talk about anything. Like he's fucking Jason Bourne or something. Like he's very mysterious. So finally I asked him, I was like, what was your bat mitzvah theme? Like I was like, that's how much I was reaching for conversation with him. And he's like, you're seriously asking me that? And I was like, you don't want to talk about anything. So yeah, that was the last date I went on.
Well, guys, step up. Once you see Annabelle's picture,
the bar is very low, like ridiculously low.
It should be high. Because you're a hot babe. You're funny. You know.
I mean, I already got everything I need from this podcast with your complimentary intro. So.
But it's true, though.
Earl, God, if you weren't so in shape.
I know, maybe. I mean, you know, you've gotten good reviews on my dating skills, I'm assuming.
Fantastic. You have rave reviews.
We don't have to mention names. You know, been a previous podcast guest. You figure it out. And, you know, I believe in treating women probably too well. That's my problem. But that's another podcast. So you and I have another obsession. It's kind of a show like the Jersey Shore.
But so much better.
It is because I feel like I'm living it because I see them everywhere I go. We're talking about the show Vanderpump Rules, which is a show about Lisa Vanderpump and her two restaurants, Sir and Pump. And it's filmed literally 1 block from my house. So
you're so close.
I go to Starbucks. I see Tom Sandoval walking around. You know, I see Jax. You know, it's like I feel like I'm in the show. Why do you like the show?
I love the show because it's a real life soap opera because all of them have slept with each other and fought each other. And it's so like inbred and like incestuous. And I just love it because I never know what's going to happen. It is a crime that the show doesn't have an Emmy because it's the best reality show I've ever seen. Like the twists in it are insane.
And I know our friend Rachel O'Brien is in certain episodes of it. Yes,
the gorgeous and funny Rachel O'Brien is one of the friends of Kristen, who's one of the main cast members and part of the main drama.
Now, every episode I see, I think, God, Annabelle should be in this show. Have you ever been asked to be on the show?
I would love, oh my God, I would love to be on that show. No, I've never been asked, probably because nobody trusts me to work in a restaurant or work anywhere, to be honest.
But I could see, what's the last regular job you've had?
I don't think I've ever had a job that I got paid for. I've only done internships and I did one writing job that I got paid for.
On an E! show, right?
Yeah.
And what was that show?
Fashion Police.
With Joan Rivers.
Yeah, when it was still good with Joan Rivers, not with Kathy or with Melissa. When it was still...
Joan Rivers, like, you know, we're all sad that she had a bad surgeon. And
it's heartbreaking because she was my last boss. Like, she was my last boss. So especially heartbreaking for me.
And what was it like writing for a legend like that? And that's a legend.
It was surreal. Like I'd never had a writing job before or any real job that wanted to pay me. And then my first one was like writing for her. I was like, are you kidding? And the best part about her was she would always give me tons of candy. Like whenever I go to the tapings and like good candy, not like fat secretary desk candy, like Jolly Ranchers and stuff.
Yeah, but you're never going to get fat.
Like Reese's and like good candy. And she loved ghosts. And so we would talk about that.
Is she, who are some of your comedy mentors or idols?
I love Joan Rivers. Like my favorite comedian is John Mulaney. I love John Mulaney and Anthony Jeselnik.
Oh, they're the best.
And Earl Skakel.
I mean, I'm trying. I started at open mics with Jeselnik. I'm not sure where I went wrong, but I started at open mics with Jeselnik and Whitney Cummings, and 2 of the 3 of us have made it.
Well, those two couldn't book me on their podcast. I'm here with you.
Oh, I love it. I love this podcast because I only interview people I like.
That makes me feel so happy.
I haven't had one guest on who I didn't want to talk to in some form. So I would think you would have a podcast, a blog.
God. Thank you. I mean, my cats would be thrilled if I stopped just talking to them. So maybe I should.
You are a hidden gem, and there's no way you shouldn't be on TV. Vanderpump Rules, E. You should have something on E.
I need to do something, whether it be like a blog or podcast or anything, just to get my first result like off of Google being Jersey Shore. Like I need something to get that search result like down the page. Because
when I looked you up, it's like, well, I want to be informed when she comes on because, like we've mentioned, we are best friends, but I don't know a lot about you other than your impeccable fashion sense.
Thank you.
I mean, the outfit you have on now is just like, you're definitely the best dressed guest I've ever had on.
Really? That's all I wanted.
The leather knee-high boots, the black form-fitting, what is that?
I was wearing a black sweater dress and black tights, and I was worried I was looking like a little Hasidic Jewy, so I had to throw on some thigh-high. I had to throw on some thigh-high boots to even it out.
I mean, where do you get your who's like your fashion icon?
I love anything like over the top, tacky, like how Kim used to dress like in the good years,
right? Like
after the sex tape where it was like a lot of bandage dresses and she looked very ethnic with like a lot of makeup, and those were like my dream Kim years. So like that.
Well, you're much hotter Kim Kardashian.
Earl, I mean, I don't know how much my parents are paying you, but it's well worth it.
They're not. I mean, I have always thought you were a hot babe, and I think you're really funny, and like you should be getting up more. Why don't you do more stand up?
I don't, because I'm so lazy. I'm so lazy and I hate leaving the house. If I could do like open mics in my apartment, it would be awesome.
You should have a show in your apartment.
That would be ideal. Like I'm very like Howard Hughesy. Like I never want to leave my apartment. I'm like 2 seconds away from storing my urine in jars. Like I never want to leave my apartment.
Like when's the last time you've gotten up? Last comedy show you were on?
Ugh.
Didn't you just do one with some of the girls from Vanderpump?
No, I just support them. I'm like a pageant mom for them, and they put on the flyer that I'm a producer. I'm mostly just a pageant mom who sits there and supports them. And I think that they feel bad and put my name on the flyer.
Well, it's my goal to get you out and about in the stand-up world.
Thank you. I mean, if I was with you, it would encourage me to do it. But you have to have so much energy. And it's not tough. Like I don't have the time. I just don't have.
It's not your passion. What is your passion?
Leisure. My passion is like doing nothing. If I could get paid to do that, which I guess would be doing a reality show.
Why don't you do like a show? Because you should be more known to the world, Annabelle. Like do a leisure show on E! I mean, have your funny friends write it.
I know. I have you. I have tons of funny friends that could be on it and write it. This is a great idea.
I'm telling you, this is how good
you shouldn't be throwing these ideas out for free. Like I feel like I should be paying you for like manager mentorship.
I mean, well, weren't you just in a video with Whitney Rice and Jacqueline?
Yes.
And what was that about?
Fabulous Whitney Rice. It was a spoof on The Bachelor. So I was like one of the Bachelor girls.
Would you ever go on that show?
No, I cannot stand living with people. I wouldn't be able to stand living with girls. And plus the guy they always choose for The Bachelor is such a dork.
Right.
I give so much credit to The Bachelorette because I've only seen a couple episodes. Because as much as I love shitty reality television, and I'm much more like a Love and Hip Hop Atlanta type fan than I am Bachelorette. I don't like stuff about like just relationships or just finding like somebody to marry.
But I would think that you're such a character, you would be the perfect Bachelorette.
Really, I wouldn't be able to. All the guys they have on there are such fucking jagoffs, and when they come out on like the limo, and they always have like they are wearing like a costume or have some like dorky like one liner. I wouldn't be able to like hold back my disgust when somebody's like, "I love volunteering with children," and like you're sweet, so that's why I'm dressed as a giant cupcake. Which one guy did? I would just be like, throw yourself in front of the limo right now and have the driver go full speed over you. I don't think I'm the prime bachelorette the ABC is looking for.
God,
I'm not American Broadcasting Company worthy.
well, you're definitely E. I could possibly see you on Spike. I mean, they need.
Is Spike still around?
Well, it's basically the Bar Rescue Network.
Okay, my dad loves that show.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a show for. Does your dad? Now he did his first set ever stand up recently, right?
Yes, he did. An hour and a half.
Which is crazy that someone who'd never done stand up before just got up there and did an hour and a half.
Yeah, I mean, he was sitting down because he's like 350 pounds and 69 years old. But yeah, he did an hour and a half, which I thought, because we were just doing this as like a present to him, as like a bucket list thing, because he thinks he's hilarious, which he is. And he's always wanted to be a stand-up comedian. So we rented out like the Flappers Yoo-Hoo room. And when I was like, okay, well, how much time do you want? Thinking that he would say like 15 minutes. He's like, I need at least an hour. Like, didn't even think about it. I was like, an hour? Okay, well, like, you don't really know how long an hour is when you're on stage. Because you feel like you're doing an hour and you're like, how long has it been? And they're like, 5 minutes. You still have 5 minutes more in your time. And you're like, fuck, I've said everything I could possibly think of. So I was like, okay, an hour. He's going to get up there and do 10 minutes max. No, he did an hour and a half where we had to like pull him off stage, like get the Apollo broom guy and be like, you need to get off. Like,
right.
But he did great. I was so proud of him. He did way better than I've ever done.
No, that's not true. I've seen you go up before. It's captivating.
But he thinks like now he wants to do this as his like career. He like thinks he's the next Rodney Dangerfield.
Well, you're never too old. Rodney Dangerfield made it basically at like 55 years old. So.
Oh, yeah, I know. My dad watches a documentary about him. Like he's autistic like 5 times a day, over and over and over again.
And what's your mom's story? I mean, we want to get into your background.
My mom is
beauty queen.
My mom?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. My mom's beautiful. My mom was a professional ballroom dancer, like on Dancing with the Stars, before she met my dad. And then she met my dad and she stopped dancing. And she's been like a stay-at-home mom ever since.
And you grew up where?
In Florida. Yeah.
Like Jacksonville, I'm guessing?
God, no. I mean, not like any place is better. It's just a lateral move. It's all equally terrible. But I grew up in South Florida.
What part? Like Sunset Island? No,
it's a really, really small town. It's closest to like Jupiter, where like Tiger Woods lived and like had the golf club go into his car.
Good old Ellie.
Yeah. But yeah, South Florida, just so disgusting. I hate it.
Did you go to Florida State?
I tried to. They did not want me. So I went to Tallahassee Community College, very close to Florida State.
All right. And what brought you out to LA? Acting, comedy, music?
I was working in Seattle. I was interning in Seattle on a radio station, on like an all-male rock radio station, which I'm not rock at all. And it's not like Seattle takes their music seriously. But I worked with them and that was super fun. And I would have stayed there, except I hated being the only orange person in Seattle. And it just wasn't my scene. I loved the guys I worked with. It was just everything else was not for me.
Because you are very tan.
I'm Jersey short tan. I look very Jersey. So when people meet me, that's where they think I'm from. And I'd rather say I'm from Jersey than say I'm from Florida.
And how, I think we could get into this because we know each other. How do you maintain this wonderful tan?
I spray tan twice a week at least.
But do you go to a salon?
Yes, I go to a salon in Seattle. There were literally no tanning salons, so I had to use a bunch of different lotions. And when I moved out of my apartment, they charged me so much money because I had ruined the shower with all the lotions I used, like the color. So they had to replace the bathtub after me.
Did you ever watch that show that I was very obsessed with?
Are you going to say Sunset Tan?
Absolutely.
Yes, with the Ollie girls.
The Ollie girls, the two owners, the one guy with the really bad skin. I think his name's Devin.
Yeah, I mean it's right by the Comedy Store.
Yeah,
I got so excited when I was like, "That's the real Sunset Tan."
Yeah, I mean, I think I know they had one by a gym in Sports Equinox on Sepulveda, but I think it's not happening anymore. But there's still the original Sunset Tan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm addicted. I got kicked out of a tanning salon. Actually, the guy threatened to call the cops on me because we got into a fight that he told me I was tanning too much. The owner told me I was tanning too much, and kicked me out, like literally barred me from the salon.
Like, would you go in the one where you have to you stand upright because it's like double the power?
Yes.
I think.
And even though I paid for the unlimited trial, he still blamed me that I was tanning too much. I'm like, I paid for the unlimited, and he's like, yeah, but you shouldn't be tanning this much. I'm like, you get fucking paid in leftover tanning solution. Why do you care? And that's when he's like, no, you're out. You're kicked out.
Really?
Yeah. Like literally, the cops were. He's like, I'm calling the cops. That's my only altercation I've ever had was with a Persian tanning salon owner because I was tanning too much, according to him.
But you don't look overly tan. I mean, you look like tan.
Well, yeah, because they won't let me tan as much as I want to.
It's so now you just spray it, but there's nothing wrong with getting spray tanned, right?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't think they've really tested the health effects, but I know I'll find out when I'm 80 if I have like some type of severe like liver damage or the fumes. But
well, you put moisturizer on and all that stuff, right? After you do it.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm pretty like greased up. I mean, I'm Italian, so I feel like it just pours out of us.
Now, what originally? I mean, she's so popular. The phone's blowing up. Please,
no, it's just, no. I'm sorry. It's just like I guarantee it's my mom.
No. It's what made you want to go to Seattle from Tallahassee?
Because I dropped out of community college as soon as I realized like I couldn't be in a sorority in community college. I was like, oh, fuck this. So I dropped out of community college. And I needed something to do. I needed like some type of schedule. So I started interning for the morning show where I lived. That was like really popular. It was sort of like our like KISS, like our Ryan Seacrest in the morning version for South Florida. So I started interning for them. And then I met the Seattle show at like a radio conference. And they invited me to come up and work for free for them.
So you at one point thought about a career in radio?
No, I just had no idea what I was doing. I had nothing to do. So I was like, okay, this is sort of like going to school. I have to get up really early. And so I just wanted something to do. And I just fell into radio.
And then what? So you're in Seattle doing that. And then you're like, I want to go to LA to comedy, maybe acting. Yeah,
I was just like, I just want to go to LA because I know that there will be something there that I'll want to do. I'm not sure what I want to do, but I always wanted to be an actress in entertainment because I wanted a job that it would be predominantly like in air conditioning with good looking people and that didn't require math or like a lot of technical skill. So I thought acting would be good.
And weren't you on like, I went on your Facebook page. Weren't you in the background of like a Saved by the Bell episode or like?
I wish I was on Saved by the Bell. I'm not 40. It was a Big Bang Theory episode.
You're right. No, but it like I knew it was one of those shows.
I mean, although I would have freaked out if I could be an extra on Saved by the Bell. He was like my first major crush.
Who? Mark Paul Gosselaar?
Yeah, Mark Paul Gosselaar. Yes,
oh, right.
Obsessed. And then I had to be an extra on what was that terrible lawyer show that he was on with Breckin Myers? Franklin and Bash. I got to be an extra on that, and I was like 2 feet away from him and freaking out. Like the third grade in me was.
Yeah, because it's Zach Morris.
He still looks incredible.
Oh yeah, I mean he's got to be in his early 40s, late 30s.
I mean him and Mario Lopez still look fantastic.
Mario Lopez.
I don't know what the fuck happened to Lark Voorhees. Fucking Lisa Turtle.
She's gone off the rails.
But all of them still look really good. Like Elizabeth Berkley in one of my favorite movies of all time.
Showgirls.
I mean, I was watching that without my parents knowing, literally like in 4th grade, and just thinking like, this is the most beautiful girl I've ever seen in my life, Crystal Connors.
Right.
And I was like, this is what I want to look like. This is what I take my makeup inspiration from, and the nails. And the hand movements.
I'm obsessed with that movie.
And it's made me permanently afraid of going downstairs.
Right, because you might get pushed.
Like she says, somebody younger and hungrier is always waiting to push you down the stairs.
I mean, but that show, I remember seeing it in Westwood at Sold Out Theater because it was a big deal when it came out. I think.
So you saw it like in the theater? Yeah,
it was like Joe Esterhaus had written it, and he was like a huge, like coming off of Basic Instinct, and it was like a big release, and the whole time the theater was laughing at everything because
it's a fantastic. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. It makes me laugh every time.
Yeah, I mean, I just like the side characters, like the guy who managed a strip club, Robert Davi, and he's like, "Hey, what's it like to dance and not have some guy come on you?" It's like, and he's like a great character actor, and the guy who's like in charge of the dancers, you know, he had some great lines, and you know, the pool scene where they have sex is, you know, it's most ridiculous.
That was like the first like graphic. I mean, that was like, I think the first sex scene I ever saw in a movie. And I was like, oh, that's what, because I thought like, that's what it was going to be like. I was like, that looks scary. And also I can't swim. So I was scared of it.
So you had not had sex
in fourth grade? No.
Oh, okay. Well, I forget how young you are. So
it was like fifth grade.
So like as a fourth grader seeing that scene, you were like, oh,
I was like, fuck, I'm going to have to learn how to swim. I don't want to do that.
Now, at what age did you start having sexual thoughts?
Having sexual thoughts?
Or maybe I shouldn't say
like watching
sex.
Saved by the Bell. I mean, I lost my virginity in college because I never wanted, that was my thing. I'm like, I never thought I'd like save myself for marriage. I'm not religious at all, or I think that's not practical and insane. I'm not a Jonas brother. But never wanted anyone in high school to be able to ever say like that they fucked me, right, or be able to say something about me. And so I was like, I just want to wait till I'm out of high school. It's like I never hooked up with anybody in high school, like never dated anybody. And then my first boyfriend was my freshman year in college.
And you just decided it's time.
Yeah, I was like, I wanted to wait till I was like I want to wait till I was in love with somebody. And then I really loved him. And I was like, okay, I feel comfortable that this is the person that I lose my virginity to, even though he wore like graphic t-shirts with, I remember the shirt he was wearing the night I like slept with him. And this is how much I loved him, that his shirt was a stick figure with a propeller hat sticking his tongue out and says, "It's all good." When the stick figure was giving the thumbs up. That's like real love. The fact that I lost my virginity to somebody who was wearing that shirt is really sad. But
that's a lucky man that he could get laid wearing that shirt.
Like I said, like my bar is very low, you guys. Like very low.
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. It is. But it shouldn't be. I agree with you.
Well, it's my goal to get you a boyfriend.
That's please. Oh my God. Please be my Please be my Patty Stinger.
Based off this, I really should do a show. But you know, I look at Millionaire Matchmaker, which is another show I watch. Who's helping her get a guy? I
know she's 50 plus and has been engaged twice. And the last guy she was engaged to looked like he had Down syndrome, and they still didn't even get married. She couldn't even keep him, who looked like he had Bell's palsy on his face.
Only I would know what Bell's palsy is, because my favorite pro wrestling announcer has it, and they always show the camera on him because I think they like, you know, making fun of him. They don't really tell him. It's a cruel world out there in the entertainment business.
Well, then he could date Patty Stinger because she goes for that look.
She's cute. I mean, big tits and like, you know,
she's brassy. She's a confident. She's so tiny in person. I went to like one of her dating seminars, which I mean clearly didn't work, but
you went to a dating seminar because you were like, what am I doing wrong with men?
Yeah. I've been to 2 dating seminars. Because I get tickets for me and my girlfriends, since like all my girlfriends are basically single. And I just like to go, not because I really think it's going to work for me, but I want them to find love, because I just really want to be in a wedding. It kills me that I haven't been a bridesmaid yet, because I feel like I'd be a great bridesmaid. So I'm not really looking for me. I'm looking for my friends so I can be involved in a wedding.
Right. You would be an amazing bridesmaid.
I mean, I'm still holding out for you too.
You know,
since I'm not allowed to marry you, I want somebody else to. So,
well, you know,
I have a party to go to.
We'll figure it out. You know, I'm just playing. You know,
do you ever want to get married?
You know,
have you been married?
No. Came close once back in the day, but didn't happen. And then have had some weird relationships in the last couple of years. So
I feel bad. Do you not want to talk about it?
No.
Okay.
This is no. You made some mistakes here and there, and I'm just trying to figure it out.
Would you ever want to live? Don't you think the most ideal marriage situation would be being married? At least for me, I want to be married, but I don't want to live in the same house as them.
Oh, that'd be great.
Wouldn't that be like, I would love to have like a long distance relationship. I would love to have somebody who is out of town most of the time. Like, I don't care if he's cheating, like that he goes away. I have my own apartment and we have like a mutual time that we agree to meet and hang out and we have fun, but we're not like, we have separate bathrooms. We're not in each other's lives, like knowing what each other's doing. I'm so easy to date. I really don't want to know what you're doing. I don't want to spend that much time with you. See, I'm super easy.
Wait, did you say you don't care if he's cheating?
I feel like depending on who it is, I feel like when girls get together with like sports players or actors and then they're shocked later that they cheat and choose to divorce them for that, I'm like, no, that's what you signed up for. That is part of the agreement. When you date or marry a sports person, they are absolutely going to cheat on you and you are aware of that and you can't get mad at them for it.
Have you ever cheated on a boyfriend?
No, I've had 1.5 boyfriends and I've never cheated on them. And I've never been afraid of the 1.5 of them cheating on me because I was the only person who would sleep with both of them. So I wasn't worried about them ever cheating on me. I'm like, listen, if you could find somebody else who wants to fuck you, go for it. You're not going to be able to, but if you can, lock her down.
I love it.
So no, I've never cheated on somebody, but I think if I were about to, if I met somebody and I was about to cheat on them, I would just text my then boyfriend or call them and be like, this isn't working out, and end it on the phone right before I sleep with the new person. Just for myself.
Sure.
But do you think it's really selfish to tell somebody that you've cheated on them? Don't you think you should just break up with them and save them the hurt of them knowing you've cheated on them and breaking up with them?
That's what I would prefer.
Because that's just so hurtful.
But I've had bad experiences in that field, so I'm
like you've cheated on them or they've cheated on you.
Well, I've done both in full.
Which one feels better?
Well, I don't think either feels better. I mean, I think when I was cheating, I was just doing it out of insecurity, oh, this girl wants to fuck me and I have a girlfriend. She knows that. I must be cool. It's crazy logic.
Well, you are cool. That's not crazy.
Well, I mean, it just, and then, then when I was cheated on, I would say when you get cheated on, it's the worst.
I can't even imagine that.
It's tough. It's still probably has affected me to this day, but
I feel like I should set money aside just in case somebody ever cheats on me, that my friends will have bail money to get me out of jail when I go after him or her.
Well, I did to a degree go after the guy.
Did you do something to the car or?
No. I knew where this particular, I don't even want to call him a gentleman, this fool was, let's just say he visits the same bar. And I walked up to him and the bar was packed. I had not one friend in this bar. So it was, I think I'm more about the mental, I don't want to get sued. I'm such a Jew. I don't want to get sued. So I just walked right up to him and I think I said something to the effect of, I hope the pussy was worth it. I'm going to kill you. Wow. And I walked through the back. I broke my hand on the door just because I wanted to scare him. And I think I did. So,
my God.
Although I don't feel better still, I do, knowing that he's scared of me.
That sounds like a scene in a movie. What a great line.
Oh, it was great because, but
that's amazing. I'm so impressed.
Well, it was stupid. I broke my hand doing it, but it was worth all the pain in the world.
But that's like a real man. I mean, you went up and confronted him and broke many bones.
I broke 4 bones in my right hand. Didn't get surgery. I just let it heal naturally.
Are you a Christian Scientist? You're like, I'll just let it go. You didn't get surgery for it?
No, it's just this hand. My right hand was literally the size of a grapefruit for like 2 months. I couldn't close my hand. I couldn't. But I tell you, it was worth every bit of pain.
That is such a cool story.
Well, this guy was a real piece of shit. So, you know, but it's, I would, to answer your original question, I think it's definitely harder getting cheated on because it's just like, you know, I'm a pretty confident guy and it really, it did a number on me in that regard. But, you know,
that is awful.
It's no fun, but it was karma for all the times, I guess, that I had cheated on girls. So,
Well, I'm sorry that happened, but I love that story. It really is like a movie scene.
It really was because. So
it was all worth it for that because it's so entertaining for other people to hear it.
Well, I think so. I mean, I'm more about mental intimidation than physical because I don't want to get sued. And if I ever hit this guy, his face would be fractured in many places. And
I think you're the most in shape person I know.
Well,
you're
it's
the
all
most fit person I know.
Well, you know, it's I only work out. I hate working out, to be honest with you, but I do it just to be able to get not laid, but you know, I figure if you want to attract good-looking women, you have to look good yourself. But you're disproving that theory.
Yeah, I don't think girls are all of my friends who have had in shape guys are always like, he has like his abs are better than mine. I don't want to sleep with him. I don't want to be next to him without my shirt on. Like it makes girls insecure. Like I don't think guys should worry about their bodies. I think that they should be like, I should make more money or I should be funnier. Like for me and the girls I know that I have met. But I know very insecure girls.
Well, I know very insecure girls too, and guys. But I think after the cheating, it was like I'm gonna become so in shape and
your body's crazy. You have like one of those Instagram fitness bodies.
Well, I do my best, but you know, if there's anything good that came from the cheating, it was like no girl's ever gonna leave me again.
That's true.
But you know,
because you'll be able to run and pin them down.
Well, you know, I'll never physically touch another guy because I'm too scared. I wouldn't have money to buy, you know, another John Varvatos jacket.
I assume he's a sports player, wrestler.
John Varvatos? No, oh my God. You don't know who John Varvatos is? He's like the hottest men's designer.
I thought you said Barbados. I'm like, oh, he owns that island?
No, I can't believe you don't know who John Varvatos is.
No,
You've never heard of him. No, he's like he's where I get all my leather wear from. Leather jackets. He's got a leather shirt jacket that is my favorite.
You have a leather shirt jacket?
It is. I will show it to you after. Putting this thing on I get a sexual feeling. Like,
does it make like noise?
No, it's just like the most beautiful. If clothes can be described as beautiful, this jacket is beautiful. It's like he is like the I don't know. Donna Karen's not. He's who's a hot women's designer right now.
Okay, so like Tom Ford, like Balmain, like
yes, he's in the Tom Ford. Okay. He's got. Shoes. He's more known for his clothes, but he's colognes and all that stuff.
I cannot stop thinking about you in a leather shirt.
It's amazing. I mean, it's you know, and of course leather pants from Barney's, but that's next level.
You are so like you're intimidating to women. I mean, I don't think I am. If I saw you in a leather shirt, I would never think that you'd be interested in me. First, because I'm a woman. I'm like, I don't think that that's what he's going for if he's wearing a leather shirt. And number two, I'm like, then he's so fashionable as a straight guy and works out that this is so high maintenance that it'd be like dating myself. Although I don't work out.
But how do you keep your body up? I mean, you have a killer bod.
I don't. That's why I stay inside. No, I don't have a killer bod at all.
Well, I mean, you know, I think most people disagree, but you know, do you have body dysmorphia? Do you think?
Well, no, I was super fat growing up. Like they called me Annabelle. And I was like 200 pounds.
What?
When I was 12. Like I was over 200 pounds when I was fucking 12 years old. Like what? How do you let your kid get like that? This was like before like obesity became
right.
People were more aware of it. But yeah, I was super fat. And so, I mean, I know I'm not I know I'm not Annabelle anymore, but like, yeah, they would like guys would spit on me and they would bark at me. And I had like guys like in middle school, like hit me, not like a real hit, not like a Chris Brown hit, but like they like slapped me across the face and I was like, ugh, and they're like, I slapped another guy and laughed and ran off. So even though I'm not Annabelle,
no, you are not.
Like in your head, like no matter how like I feel like I will always be that.
Right. No, I get it. It really did a number to your psychology.
Yeah. So I feel like those are like the best girls to get, like girls who used to be bullied, because their self-esteem is already like their self-esteem will always be so low. So that it's like picking up a fat girl, picking up like a current fat girl.
Well, I've done that at times, but
because you're like, oh, it's in the back. So yeah, I feel like if I were a guy, that's the target demo I would go for. Like I would just troll therapist's office. Like that's.
Do you go to therapy?
Yes. I mean, it's not working, but I've gone to see a therapist since fifth grade.
But in what, like what do you go to get like childhood bad memories from your childhood out or?
Yeah. I mean, I will literally do anything. Like I've done like regular talk therapy. I've done hypnosis. I do Reiki. I do crystal, like literally anything for self-improvement as long as just paying for something. I know that we're both into Tony Robbins.
Oh, I love Tony Robbins.
Yeah, I will do all of that. I mean, I don't implement like any of the stuff they tell me to do that could help me, but I love going.
I mean, I'll buy 6 self-help audiobooks on iTunes and it makes me feel better just buying them.
Yeah, I'm like, that's good enough. I made the first step and then I don't read them, but.
I mean, I listen to them at the gym, but I go to a really pretentious gym, Equinox. I can't believe you're not in there. I mean, you would rule the Equinox world.
But I don't want to work out. I would just walk around and try to pick up people, but I don't think people want to talk while they're working out, right? Or they'd be like, why are you here in regular clothes not working out?
You would be like Fabio. You'd do like, I'm obsessed with Fabio's workout routine. He will do like one set and then walk around for 48 minutes picking up chicks. It's great. Oh, it's so fun to watch.
Oh my God.
And I'm just listening to my shitty 80s, metal, compilation.
Does it work for him? Do girls like leave with him?
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know if they leave with him, but he definitely gets numbers. And here I am in my, Rat t-shirt from, their 86 tour, which was their last successful year. And no one looks at me at the gym. Some guy wouldn't let me in the executive room the other day. He
what?
Said,
there's an executive room at the gym?
And I'm a member of it because I saw
you. There's like a Soho house of gyms?
Yeah.
What?
There's an executive gym, executive locker room at Equinox. It's not a gym. It's just a locker room. And, it's the elite of the elite are in there. And the first day I joined, I was in the regular locker room and I saw 2 guys blowing each other in the steam room.
What?
Which is fine. It's, when in Rome.
Like that's what goes on, like the plebeians workout room is just like, that's what's going on?
Well, to a degree. I mean, I used to go to 24-hour fitness, which is like a high school gym. And I saw some guy getting his ass eaten in the steam room.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I was there by myself, and I used to work at gyms. It's the only job I've ever had. So I had my shoes and shorts on. You can't go into a steam room with no feet. I mean, no foot coverage. It's just gross. Just for, stagnating water and people piss in there and drop loads. And so I go in my shoes and shorts. I'm just sitting in there one day and kind of gay guy comes in. He sits right next to me and he put he had like a big gulp size thing of water to put on the conductor to make it steamy. Now, if you've ever been to a steam room, have you ever been in one?
No, but I've seen it on like TVs. And
right. Well, all you need is literally a thimble cup of water to put on the conductor to get steamy. So I knew when the guy was throwing a whole fucking 64-ounce big gulp thing, I was like, all right, this guy's either going to try and fuck me or
kill you.
Kill me, suck me, or something that ends in ing. So he sits right next to me. It's so thick in there, I can't see in front of my face. Literally, I could not see my hand in front of my face. Another guy comes in, just a towel, biggest boner I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it literally looked like it looked like an alien. It looked like, and he looks at the guy, kind of sizes him up, turns around, drops his towel, grabs his ankles, and the guy sitting next to me starts, eating the guy's ass. And I'm right there. Like, I'm literally like, hello, guys. There's someone else in here.
Hello, guys.
No, I didn't say anything. And when I tell people this story, they're like, well, Earl, why didn't you leave? And it's like, well, I was there fucking first. So after that, I joined Equinox thinking, well, rich people don't do that stuff. First day in there, open the steam room door, two guys blowing each other. I'm like, all right, I know there's an executive room. Like where Russell Simmons, Gene Simmons,
Yeah, I want to see rich people doing that to each other.
Like the elite.
Yeah.
And, I got a couple dollars in the bank. So I said, listen, can I join the executive thing? It's like, I just saw something in there. It's my first day. I just left 24-hour because I saw ass eating. And they're like, well, we got some on reserve, but since your first day, we'll upgrade you to that locker room. Second day of Equinox, first day in the executive room. I'm in there in the steam room by myself listening to Tony Robbins. Because it's very therapeutic to hear his voice. You're in the steam room. He feels good. Gay guy comes in there, sits right next to me. I mean, I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is insane. And he looks at me and goes, do you have a girlfriend? Because you have an amazing body. I'm like,
that's true.
Well, who doesn't like to hear that?
Yeah, it's very flattering.
I mean, you're a woman, beautiful woman. Whether you have any sexual interest in a guy or not, if the guy says, hey, you have a great body, you're really pretty, you love hearing it.
Yeah, I will talk to anybody.
Yeah,
who says that.
It's like it's like, wow. And so I'm like, thanks, man. I work out a lot for my girlfriend. And I didn't have one at the time, but I'm like, what would gross a gay guy out where he would have no sexual interest in me? I'm like, she has big tits, huge tits, real hairy pussy. I mean, the pussy's amazing. Did I mention she has big tits? And it's not deterring him at all. And he just gets nose to nose to me and goes, does she give good head? And I'm like, it's amazing. Could suck the paint off of 8 mansions in Brentwood Park. And he gets literally like we're touching noses at this point.
You were like Eskimo kissing this guy?
Essentially. And he's like, I bet I give better.
Were you like intrigued like a little bit?
Well, no, he did give better. I let him, no, I'm just kidding. So I was like, this is insane, this gym. But there's nowhere to go from the executive room. But the other day, because I don't dress the part at Equinox, I work out in like, hockey sweats and an 80s metal shirt. The guy's like, you have to be an executive member to come back here. I'm like, what are you talking about? I've got more money than everyone in this fucking locker room, except for Russell Simmons. That's my locker right there. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, well, you shouldn't talk to people like that anyway. Yeah,
you have to dress that straight to deter all the gay men who are after you.
Yeah, I have never had other than the guy in the steam room. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious I'm straight.
But that's so flattering, especially for a gay guy to hit on you at a gym that's full of
good
prime good looking. I mean, you're in West Hollywood where the best looking gay men live.
Yeah, I mean, it's
the most in shape.
I feel fat at Equinox. I mean, it's insane how
the fact that he chose you out of everybody. I mean, has to really says something about you.
Well, I'm doing my best, Annabelle. I'm just trying to, make up for, mistakes of the past. And, I feel that I've never been better with women now because of all the fuck ups I've done in the last, 30 years.
Yeah, you're very in shape. You're wealthy. You're good with women. I don't know why you're a comedian. Like, you really don't need it.
I get a sexual high from performing.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I love, and I think it makes
That's your steam room. That's where you get.
That's where I get off because I think I don't know if I could get any woman just based on looks alone, but I feel I could get any woman on earth if I could sit with them one-on-one and talk.
That's true.
I mean, and it's probably not true, but I think in my head, I think I can make most girls laugh, and you know, like I'll just show my dick pic just for a laugh. And it's a fantastic picture. It's much better than any headshot I've ever taken. Because it's just done. It was done out of for fun, and
that's hilarious. I would love it if you went into an audition and just gave him that.
I showed one of the biggest directors in Hollywood the other day my dick pic, Jason Reitman.
Are you serious? Was this in the executive suite?
This is at Roast Battle, and Jason has been nice enough to be a father figure to the show. He's obsessed with the show, and he's got a documentary made about it, which is being shown in Sundance.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing. So the other night, you've been to Roast Battle. It can be kind of a wacky show at times.
Yeah, it's intense.
And the show had hit a lull, and one of the gay judges, Thomas Dale, who's an amazing comic, he wanted to spice it up and said, Earl, show everyone your dick pic. So I pulled it up, and I showed it to everyone and got a big laugh. And then Jason Reitman was turning his head away because he's like, I don't want to see this guy's dick pic. And I just basically crammed my phone in front of his face. And he was very intimidating because his dad, Ivan Reitman, is like a legend. Meatballs, Stripes, Ghostbusters, Twins. Any comic from the 80s or any comedy from the 80s, he did. And now Jason's like carrying the Reitman torch. He's got a show on Hulu, and I think he did Juno, and it's like he's just an amazing director. And he just looks at my dick pic and goes, nice dick, bro.
Wow.
But, I shouldn't, I should say, hey, would you look at my comedy reel, Mr. Reitman? Instead, I'm showing him my dick pic. So now you wonder.
Equally impressive.
Well, I mean, the dick pic's probably better than the comedy reel, to be completely honest with you.
I assume I've never.
I would never show it to you. I would never show it to you.
Oh no, I know that my friends get dick pics because they've shown me, and I've freaked out. I've never received one, thank God, because I would literally have to get a new phone because I would throw it against the wall.
I would. That's how much I respect and love you. I could never show it. I could never show it to you.
Do you send it to girls?
Oh no, I don't have it for. There was a comic who asked me what my ex-girlfriend's pussy looked like. So I thought, well, that's kind of rude, because I still kind of liked her, whatever. And I'm like, oh, you want? All right, well, let me show you. And so I took a dick pic and said, here, that's what it looked like. She's pretty hot, right? And
that is a perfect response. You're such a gentleman, even with dick pics.
Well, the funniest thing is he was sitting next to the manager of a comedy club in town. I won't say which one. And
there's so many.
I know it's not really, he was sitting next to someone who works at the Improv.
Okay.
Let's just say that. And of the opposite sex. And mysteriously, I got a spot at the Improv that week. I literally I haven't gotten an Improv spot in like 3 years at that junction.
Oh, wait, was that the time I saw you at the Improv? Like a couple months ago?
Yeah. So, it's gotten me work. That's how good the picture is. Because It's not just it's the whole body. And it's the lighting. It's the shadows on the abs. It's an amazing picture.
Like David LaChapelle took your dick pic. It is a piece of art.
It's... yeah. So.
Well, that's different. It's not just like an everyday dick pic.
Yeah, I know. I would never send as a calling card, hey, baby, let's hook up. I have to sit one-on-one with a girl. Like, not like on a podcast, but like.
I was going to say, I thought that's what we were doing.
Well, yeah.
Is this like a real podcast? Because that's not why I came.
You're like a sister to me.
Thank you.
I don't know. I never say never, but, it's. It'd be too weird.
Because I would be breaking so many of my friends' hearts who are in love with you that it's just I couldn't do that to them.
I don't. And
then I would lose talking. You're the only person I can talk about reality shows with because you and I are like DVR soulmates. Like you have fantastic taste in television.
Well, or the worst. It depends on. It's all like Big Brother, which I'm obsessed with that show.
I can't get into Big Brother.
Well, I think they overkill it because it's on 3 nights a week.
It's too confusing for me. I don't understand that. Like, I don't know if you vote them off or they vote themselves off, or
I think they, how does it work? I'm in such a fog. I think they vote each other off, but the audience can vote for like their favorite. They can bring people back by audience vote, but it really just shows the worst in humanity.
yes.
And I had a gym friend who was on it this season.
Really?
Yeah, he was a pro wrestler, and he didn't win it, but he got pretty far.
The only Big Brother I've ever seen was I would watch clips online of Celebrity Big Brother where they had Jenna Jameson and Farrah Abraham in the same house, which was riveting.
Well, I can't imagine. I'm a huge Jenna Jameson fan.
Love her. I did a book report on her, but her book's so good.
How to make love like a porn star?
Yeah, it's like a full Harry Potter book. It's a very thick book and it's really good.
But that would be intimidating to me because, like, how to make love like a porn star. I mean, like if you're just let's just say you and I are a couple,
Mm-hmm.
and we've been dating a year, and we're looking to spice it up. I don't know if reading that book where she took it in the ass from Lexington Steel. I don't know. I would have trouble assimilating that.
No, I can't even. Just you saying it out loud is painful to me. Like
Right.
I can't. No, it's mostly she only had like one chapter of her giving tips. It was mostly about it was just like her life story about like being a stripper and how to be a good stripper
And dating Tito Ortiz.
No, this was before she got beat the shit out by Tito Ortiz. No, this one was her first marriage. Like her first marriage was like the end of the book. It was mostly like her childhood, and then her being a stripper and then being a porn star.
But she's one girl who I wish didn't get so much plastic surgery. Because, like, to me,
she used to be gorgeous.
She used to, like, be just like, wow, that's... I mean, I'm assuming the boobs were fake, but they still looked good. And now she looks like Bret Michaels.
Yeah, now she looks so bad.
It's like, what are you doing?
And she had twins. Once a girl has kids, it like ruins them for me. Like a celebrity, it just...
Especially a porn star, because... I would imagine those two kids, when they were born, probably felt like they were on a water park ride. I mean, she's had a fair amount of weenies in her, and big ones, not just like
very like aggressive.
It's not like she was fucking open micers. She's 7-8 inches is like, is that it? So I would say her birth terrible. Canal is fairly widened.
I wonder if she even knew that she was giving birth. See, like that would seem like if you had to give birth, that'd be the best way to do it. If you were a porn star and then it would just like fall out, so you wouldn't have like any pain.
Well, I mean, I think she was at St. John's and the kids landed at Cedars. So, it was a fairly painful birth. But I mean, maybe birth, you're right. After what she's done in porn, I'm sure.
Like, that's nothing for her.
2 babies popping out was like, oh, is this it? Where's Tito? Getting his brains beat in by.
I thought they were going to make it.
A porn star and a UFC fighter, it just doesn't. It's like E in a good written show. It's just not in the cards. But I mean, would you ever date an MMA fighter?
No, never.
Right.
There's not many schlubby, funny writers who also do UFC.
You're right. I mean, it's my goal to get you a nice guy.
I think they're too dumb to be funny.
Well, there's one guy who's pretty funny, the hot new guy.
He's hot? No.
Well, he's hot for an MMA fighter. I mean, he's got the fucked up ears. His name's Conor McGregor. And he talks a lot of shit, and he backs it up, though. He just last weekend beat a guy in 13 seconds who had been undefeated for 10 years.
Wow.
And I
mean, I like a confident guy.
He's confident.
I like a guy who can talk shit, like who will give like me shit back.
What about tattoos?
I don't have any tattoos, but I feel like now I have to accept that probably whoever I date will have a tattoo,
Right.
just because I feel like everyone does.
I don't.
I'm not fans. I'm not. If I could pick, I would rather him not have a tattoo.
Right.
Because there's not like
It's not your
none
thing.
that I would respect.
Right. I mean, I don't have anything I want on my body permanently.
There's nothing I care about that much
Yeah.
to put on my body. And besides my parents, and they told me if you ever got a tattoo that they would cut the skin off of my body of where it was.
Right. The money would stop.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, great. Whatever. If that's the only thing, that's the only rule I have to follow is not get a tattoo. Fine. I feel like that's a very easy trade-off.
Well, that's what my mom, she said, Earl, don't drink till you're 18. And, you get the car of your choice within reason. And she followed up on it. And let's just say the money won't, the flow will always be flowing. But if you do, you're out. And I have never had a drink or drug. And
wow. I think that's so honorable.
Well,
it's really impressive, especially now, and especially in the field that you're in. Like, that's crazy.
Oh yeah, I mean, I see cocaine and weed basically every night. So, my parents were strange but effective.
Do people think because people think it's weird that I don't drink? Like, it weirds people out. Do you get that same reaction?
Yeah, when I tell people that, they're like, then they clam up and they like put their beer aside. Like, I'm going to freak out if they're drinking in front of me.
Yeah, they think that you're judging them. I'm like, I'm not judging you because you're drinking. I'm judging you because you're poor.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I played golf at Bel Air Country Club. Slick. I mean, your parents were probably my dad's caddy. But, I mean, I grew up in a wacky environment. Like, Bel Air Country Club to me was like, my high school.
That's amazing.
Oh, I'm telling you, if I ever make any significant amount of money in this business, the first thing I'm buying is a membership back there because it is heaven on earth.
I've never been to a golf course, but I bought a golfing lesson on Groupon because I want to learn to golf, like not like lesbian level good, but I just want to know enough that I could go and like meet guys. So I feel like that's a great way to meet guys is golfing. And you can wear skirts and like, I like the fashion of it.
But I would think your boobs would be too big for golf.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I'm going to be a good swinger hitter.
Right. Well, no, because like, the boobs get in the way of the arms, like properly. I'm not saying you care that much about your score.
Well, no, but I mean,
it would be tough, I think.
Well, if I ever get breast cancer, then I might be a better player.
Well, yeah. I mean, you might, because if you look at the LPGA, there's not many, busty golfers out there.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of busty Asians like naturally.
Right. Yeah. Well, of course not. Well, who's natural in LA? I mean, everyone's had a little, nip tuck. Did you like nip tuck?
Yes, I love nip tuck.
Dr. Troy McNamara.
I love the confidence. Like I love like the Ari Gold, like Troy, like that type of energy. Even though both guys we're obviously the complete opposite, but right. Ideally, like a confident, strong guy. Kind of, if you marry a guy who does plastic surgery, that's the mother load.
Right.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Well, I mean, you're relatively natural, right?
Yeah, I had a breast lift because I was really fat when I was younger, and so I got boobs in 3rd grade. Like I was wearing a bra in 3rd grade.
Really?
Yeah. And my mom had a breast reduction. She had like crazy, like she had like Triple H, like black church lady boobs, like insane.
And she's skinny. I've seen a picture of her. She's
not like huge. I mean, She's like, my mom looks great. Like, she's like normal mom size. But yeah, so she had a breast reduction. And so I told my dad that's what I wanted for Christmas, which was very hard for him.
A breast.
I wanted a breast lift. And so when I went in for the consultation, they're like, you can do a breast lift, but they'll sag. And so I decided to get a breast lift and an augmentation to go back to the size I was before I lost weight. So okay. I'm still like the same size, but yeah, I have a lift and implant. But it was very hard for my dad to sit there in the office with me, like as we're holding implants, like the entire family.
Dr. Fisher, Cannon Drive?
No, I got them done in Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was 19, 20.
Okay.
But yeah, and I was in love with my plastic surgeon. He was gorgeous. Like he looked like Simon Baker. He was stunning. And when I came out of my surgery and I was all fucked up, I was telling all the nurses, I was like, I love Dr. DeLange. I'm going to marry him. And when he came in and checked me out, I was like trying to kiss him. And they had to like put my hands
on the
side of my body.
Well, you look amazing. So
he does fantastic work. If anybody's listening in South Florida, Dr. DeLange is.
Yes, please. If you girls, if you had a baby and they're sagging a little bit, or you didn't have, for whatever reason. I mean, if they did penis enhancement, I'm sure most of my friends would be in line for that surgery. They don't really have that for guys.
I feel bad for guys because there really is nothing you guys can do besides the option of being rich or being funny.
Well, I mean, I hit the trifecta, thankfully, but
you're God does give with both hands. You really are like check all three.
I got my hair.
Is your hair natural?
You mean in terms of? No, this is my hair. I do nothing to it.
Like there's no like Bosley hair system. Like no, that's you.
That's me.
You have a fantastic hairline.
I mean, for 47, I mean, it might have receded a smidge, but
I know guys who are 27 who have who don't have the hairline you have.
Oh, your hair is like, I mean, I might have good hair, but your hair is next level.
My hair is the most that is my greatest talent.
No extensions.
I
mean, that is like,
Thank you.
I mean, that's like the real deal.
I'm Sicilian. I wear like hair machines, but like it's bad everywhere else. Like I have to shave every day or it's a Teen Wolf situation over my entire body.
Well, listen, I get my area down there groomed, not shaved. A gay
really?
guy. Oh, absolutely.
Like by somebody else?
Yeah.
I didn't know guys like go somewhere for that.
I don't think most guys do. I do.
I've never heard of this. What?
Well, I go. I don't. I think the guy's name is Eduardo. I don't. There's no way I could get waxed. So, but this goes back to wanting to look as good as I can for women.
I'm like shocked right now. I've never heard of this.
No, it's right down the street. I walk to him, and it's $45. I tip him $20. I learned that. Nice. I learned that from my dad. I mean, my dad over tipped, but that's how I am. And I just I don't get it completely done. I just
How did you find him? Does he do other men or he just does you?
Well, I used to go to a girl, but she moved to Fresno, and then I was like, wow, I guess once I started getting it groomed, it grows.
Yeah.
So I don't want to do it myself. So I think I went on Yelp in West Hollywood and put in men's grooming or manscaping. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
And there's a couple, places popped up, and I just, most of them were waxing, and I didn't want to do that. So I found this one guy. He's like, no, what I do is I take an electric razor, we trim it initially, and then I go in with tweezers or scissors, whatever.
Wow. So it's really precise.
It's crazy.
It's like getting your eyebrows done. Okay.
And he's got to touch your, you got to touch your dick.
Yeah.
He's got to like move it to the side, and
Is that weird?
It is, because I'm always petrified I'm going to get hard.
That'd be so. Oh my god! I
just
can't
because
even.
You're sitting. I'm sure it's like when you get a.
Like I've gotten waxed, but I don't have to worry about anything.
Do you have a male gynecologist?
No, I have an old Russian woman who really should not be practicing. She's literally 75. But she came in for the first time and she's like, oh, so you're 21, cervical cancer, sad. And I was like, no, that's not me. But thank you for thinking I'm 21. She had like the wrong person's file. But she did tell me when she's like doing my exam, she goes, oh, you have beautiful vagina. You could model it. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? And she told me I could model my vagina. And that was the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. And I've told I told all my girlfriends, and they're like, well, maybe she just says that to everyone, which I'm like, number one, let my vagina have the compliment. Like, don't try to take that away from me. And number two, I asked them, I'm like, well, has your gynecologist ever said that to you? And they're like, no, I've never heard of that. So she's really should not be practicing. She gets like everything wrong. But hopefully not that. So I only go to her because she gave me that compliment. But I could never go to a guy.
Well, but I mean, like, let's just say you had a guy, a gynecologist, and I don't know what they do when they look at your, area down there, but I'm assuming they have to, I guess, like, put a finger in there or something? Or
Yeah,
like,
I think they put like a metal. Yeah, they put like this like metal scraper.
it's like when we get our prostate checked, it's like, that's pretty gruesome. But
You wouldn't want a girl, like you wouldn't want a girl to be doing it?
to do a prostate check, I mean,
Well,
that's
not prostate, but to be doing your manscaping? Or would that be?
well, no, I did, but she was really cute.
Oh yeah, she moved to Fresno. You weren't worried about.
Well, what I would do, to be honest with you, and this is how much I love you, I would jack off right before.
To go, okay.
Just so I was like, okay, I'll lose the edge of being horny, at least for that 40 minutes. And because this girl was really cute. Not my type necessarily, but very, very, it's like, she's cute. What if she,
What is your ideal type?
I don't really have one.
So girls can hear this and message you. Not on your website, but
right.
a gay man uses. But
I mean, I've dated girls who were short. I've dated tall girls. I've dated girls with big tits. I've dated girls who weren't overly endowed in that area. I would say the last couple years it's been pretty much comics because that's all I'm around.
Right.
Which has worked out to varying degrees.
I feel like you're like an equal opportunity dater.
I mean, I don't care what people do. I don't care if they have money. I don't care if they're poor. I don't care. It's just if two people connect, they connect.
Yeah, I've only dated poor people. Like
that's surprising to me.
Like the one I lost my virginity to rode a bike. Like I would literally have to pick him up from school and load his bike in my Range Rover.
But I would say, like, because of your social circle, I mean, and your friends, you would come across just nothing but rich dudes.
No, the complete opposite. Because I mean, the only guys I see are like male comics. You're the only rich male comic I know.
Well, I mean, there's Russell Peters. He's out there. He makes me look poor, but
yeah, his house is insane. I went to like a New Year's Eve party at his house a couple of years ago.
I went to his 4th of July party, and first of all, he's like the nicest guy I've ever met.
So nice.
I mean, for someone with that kind of cash, he could probably be a dick. But he's like, he paid for this like crazy fireworks display, and the food was amazing, and just the nicest guy. But
that's so cool. He had like Jon Favreau. Like I was sitting there at the party, and I was like, God, that DJ looks a lot like Jon Favreau. And I'm like, oh, that's Jon Favreau fucking DJing his party.
He was at the party as well. And I'm like,
was he DJing or just like as a guest?
He was just hanging out, and I'm like, wow, that looks like the dude from Swingers. I was like, oh fuck, that is the dude from Swingers.
That's crazy.
It's like when I went to Adam Sandler's Christmas party a couple years ago. I walk in and some guy was doing Rebel Yell by Billy Idol. I'm like, wow, that guy's really good at doing Billy Idol. And I started getting closer and closer, and it was Billy Idol.
Are you serious?
It was unbelievable. It was like, oh my God, Jesus Christ, it's Billy Idol.
God, I haven't seen him since The Wedding Singer.
Oh, he still kills it. I mean, for a guy who's done what he's done, he's got good. I don't think he's had any plastic surgery. And it's like he looks a little older,
yeah,
but he's fucking 60. So I'm obsessed with this guitar player who looks like a Jersey Shore housewife.
Really?
But he's an amazing guitar player. He's got the Versace shirts unbuttoned, down to his chest, and like he's got the jet black hair, all pouffined out, and super tan. He lives the part. The great Steve Stevens coming on Inappropriate Earl in January. So look forward to that. But not as much as you should to listening to this interview.
I was so nervous coming on here because you only have like rock stars on here and like wrestling people. I'm like, they're gonna hate me. I'm like,
no, not at all. Because I think they like it when I have someone like just a funny friend of mine, and it's a change of pace. And I've always wanted to have you on, and because we have so many mutual friends. And it was just an excuse to be in the room with you for an hour and 30 minutes now. I thought we'll talk for half hour, 40 minutes, because it was intimidating looking you up. Because like when someone doesn't have a website, it's like, oh, fuck, what are we going to talk about?
Yeah, I'd be worried.
It was like, my God, because
I'm shocked that if I were you, I would not. I've been like, all right, Annabelle, we're going to start, and like fake hit the record button and be like, I'll just let her think we're recording it.
Right.
And then have like a backup podcast that you air this week.
I mean, there's 2 unaired podcasts that I have as a backup
Well, that's great.
But this will not be one of them. This is a Friday night we're doing this on. I'm going to release it Monday.
I was like, is it Friday? That's the shitty thing about being unemployed. I don't know what day it is. That's why I have to watch TV. Like, that's how I know what day it is, depending on what show comes on.
But so when Vanderpump Rules is on, it's like, oh my God, it's Monday.
Yes.
And
exactly.
I think tonight, if I'm not mistaken, they do the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, they do a sneak peek.
Which is 15 minutes of basically the episode from next week. And then, let me see.
If anything, you guys have to watch it for, I say DJ with like air quotations, DJ James Kennedy.
It's who I saw at 7-Eleven, I think the other night. I think I told you, and I was starstruck.
He's like, if Satan were a porcelain doll, this is James Kennedy.
And you should not be starstruck. Nothing against the cast of Vanderpump Rules. I mean, they're, I know you're very close with some of them, but they're just regular people, like us. Now, let me ask you this. That's a good way to wrap it up. I've often wondered, since you know some of them.
Okay.
What is there? I've often, my wrestling friend who was on Big Brother, I think he thought after the show was over that he'd be like, not necessarily a superstar, but like Hollywood's going to come calling. And they didn't. Because most of the managers and agents he saw were like, yeah, we're not really into reality stars. What is like the cast member of Vanderpump Rules? What do they want to get out of the show? Or anything?
I don't know. I've never asked them, but they get a lot of offers. I mean, Kristen has like her t-shirt line, like they get money for appearances. And now with like Instagram, they get money because all these companies want to send them stuff and will pay them to promote it. And they turn a lot of it down. I'm like, I would promote anything.
Oh, so would I.
Like, I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, oh, like it kills kittens. Great. I'll promote it. Like literally anything. Like I love it. Anybody who wants to pay me to promote anything. I'm like, sure. But yeah, I feel like that they were all actors and models and singers and like whatever before. So I think that they just thought it'd be a good platform to get their stuff out there and to be on Bravo. Cause I'm like, they're not getting that much acting work. I don't think before, cause I didn't know them from anything.
I mean, I know Jax has doesn't he co-own a bar in Ventura or something?
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
I mean, Jax has his workout videos now that he does. Like wasn't he filming them for like YouTube or some app? He was going to have his own
right. I don't think
workout app, which I've never seen come to fruition. Kristen has her t-shirt line. I think one of them has a makeup line.
The Katie, is it?
Katie wants to
She has a beauty blog or something.
Yeah, Katie has a beauty blog. Stassi, I bought one of her necklaces before I met her. Like she came out with her necklace line, and like I bought a few. I was very excited. I mean, they make like real. I mean, I don't know how much money they make, but they're all like very generous. Like I don't have to pay for anything when I'm with them. Like they're so generous with their money. Cool.
Would you say they're told to act the way they do on camera just to spice up the show? I mean, like, because I watched that show and go, they can't really act like this in real life.
No, that's because I've asked them, like, because I was trying not to dork out on them when I first met, because I'm obsessed. Like I already know more about them than they probably know about themselves. So I've tried to slowly ease myself into asking them all these fan questions. But no, they said like it's 1000% real. And I've seen them film and like none of it's scripted. And they really do act like that. It's like crazy.
Because when I saw James at 7-Eleven, I think he was with a chick, some bimbo. And it was like, he was kind of being dicky to her. I'm like, oh, wow, maybe he's really like that.
The worst person on the planet. I mean, I don't have respect for any DJs. Like the only DJ like is DJ Tanner. Like I don't have any respect for somebody who presses like play on their MacBook.
Right.
And that makes you a DJ. Like then my mom's a DJ for her Zumba class. Like, it doesn't, I don't know. I don't think it's a profession.
Well, I think Pauly D's a relatively talented one.
I like him way better than, James he literally has stickers on the outside of his laptop that he got at like a Michael's craft store that says DJ James Kennedy. Like his laptop has stickers on it and he does like his own freestyle raps, which are so ridiculously terrible that it is the best moments of TV is whenever James is doing his original music.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Because his recording sessions are on his iPhone, like sitting on a bed. He's like, I'm going to have a recording sesh.
Yeah, that last episode where he had Lala, who's like the new hostess.
Who looks like she should be on Bad Girls Club. She looks like she should be on Oxygen, not Bravo.
Yeah, I mean,
no offense to Funny Girls.
Well, no, but Funny Girls. I don't think there'll be a season 2.
Not on Funny Girls show, but on like Bad Girls Club show.
Now, were you ever offered a I could have seen you on Funny Girls, this show?
Oh yeah, they asked me like 8 different times, like different producers and people on Facebook, because I think that they had to meet like their ethnicity quota, and I look very very multicultural. Like I could have been like Hispanic or like light skinned black girl if they had let me spray tan as much as I wanted to. But I was just like, oh no, I'm like, I have nothing against reality. I love watching it after the Jersey Shore thing. And I'm too embarrassed of how I am in real life that I don't want to if I wasn't so ashamed of myself, I would totally do reality.
I mean, I turned down, doing the male version of that show, which I think is coming out.
On what channel?
It might be Oxygen. I think they're doing it on like 2 or 3 networks. Like it's going to be on Oxygen and it's going to be on like some black channel and like, cause I think there's a black comic on it who's pretty big. And
why didn't you want to do it?
I'd rather have no fame than reality TV show fame. And I'm like, they had seen me,
but you could have your own fitness app.
Yeah, but I mean, it's I'm a weird with fame. I'd rather not get it than get it for 10 minutes because I was on some shitty show on, some cable network, because I said they'd seen me at some comedy show. Would you be interested in the show? It's 5 or 6 male comics living in a house. And we love your.
Oh, you have to live with them?
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh, so it's like Real World, but for comics?
Unless they change the format of the show. Yeah, it's that they're living in a house. I think it was in the Hollywood Hills, and
well, that's how all comics live.
Yeah, except maybe me and Dalia.
Yeah,
and,
except it's not a house in the hills. It's a studio apartment in Burbank, and there's 6 of them.
And you got Russell living in Malibu. So if it was with Dalia and Russell, I would have done the show. But I'm like, you're going to portray me as the rich kid doing comedy, right? And they just kind of slyly looked at me like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
So yeah, and they would have done.
I was like, people already hate me enough. I at least want people to get to know me in person and then hate me.
Yeah, they would have done this. Not. I mean, you're clearly not a bimbo, but like they would have. If I'm a casting director and I don't know you like I know you, I'll be like, all right, Jersey Shore, big boobs, leather boots, a rich kid.
Yeah.
Who cares if she's funny or not? Let's just make her the focus of the show.
Because I look like such an asshole. Like
not at all.
Oh no, but like that's what I say. I'm like it would be weird if I didn't acknowledge how ridiculous I look.
But I don't think you look ridiculous at all.
Well, that's very. But like, it'd be weird if I didn't
right.
If I didn't talk about it on stage. But yeah, that was one of my that was my biggest fear about doing reality.
I mean, you are a character.
Yeah, and so especially how they edit stuff. I'm like, they're gonna take the worst things I say and just.
Yeah.
Put that.
They're going to portray you as like a whore, and that's why I think a lot of people who do those shows don't really, I love Vanderpump Rules. We love it. But if I'm a casting director and a year from now, Jax comes in for an audition, I'm like, oh, I don't want you on my show.
I mean, I've gone into an audition where they looked me up before and they're like, before I even got to do the thing, they're like, so tell us, so you were on Jersey Shore? And I was like, oh no, I might as well. I was like, I should just turn around right now. Like, this isn't going to go well.
It's a very,
because I can't be like, no, I just went on because my friend was on it. And what sucks is Lindsay actually did hook up with Pauly D, which they do not show at all.
Right.
They don't show my friend hooking up with him, which was the reason we're there. But yeah, I was like, oh God.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think very few reality stars have gone on to mainstream. I can't think of one
except Nene Leakes from Housewives of Atlanta. Like now she's on Broadway and has had 3 different roles in Ryan Murphy shows, and she's just like Nene Leakes. She's just like a sassy big black woman.
Yeah, no, she's
I know, is what everyone aspires to be.
Right. No, she's a good dude. And, yeah, I mean, she's got that she's a character. She's interesting woman, you know.
But now I'm just like, maybe. I mean, maybe I would do it. Now at this point, I'm just like, I'm not doing anything else.
Well, you know, hold out because you're too good to do a reality show, in my opinion. And this is Annabelle. My goal with doing the show is I want people to listen to enough, say, I want her to come back. So this is the part of the show where you tell people where to find you. Instagram.
Oh, Instagram. It's Annabelle Desisto.
You better spell it for my fan base.
It's so long. Sorry.
Spell guys. Annabelle, the whole works.
It's Annabelle, ANNABELLE, and my last name's Desisto, DESISTO.
And on Twitter, even though you're not...
It's Annabelle, it's ANNABELLE, Lee, LEE 417. It used to just be like Annabelle 417, but there was like 20 spam bots of me.
And Facebook, you keep it private for your friends?
Oh, no. Go ahead and add me. Go for it.
So it's the same thing, guys. You know, before she came here, I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is going to be maybe 30 minutes tops. Not because I don't love you.
Sorry, we go so over.
No, I love it. We're at an hour and a half.
Oh, God, are you serious? Oh, no, nobody wants to hear me for that long.
They do, though, because, you know, people know, you know, enough about the music and the pro wrestling. It's good to have just a normal comic. And, you know, listen, you're hot, babe. It gets the numbers up. You know,
I mean, people love hearing hot girls just talk.
They do.
Just not seeing them and just hearing them talk. That's why Playboy Radio goes so well.
Yeah, I mean, the picture I will use for your the picture when I put out the episode, it's you know, if you don't mind, I would like to put the one where you're in the Playboy costume with the baby. I think in between.
Oh my God, yes, please. I was gonna say, please just use a skinny one of me. That's all I care.
Because you know, listen, chicks equals dicks in terms of listeners, you know.
Please.
And, you know.
Or chicks with dicks. Anybody who wants to listen.
Well, listen, Caitlyn Jenner, get out and listen. Oh, my God, that would be my fantasy interview.
Oh, my God.
Other than Gene Simmons.
I'm going to put it on a vision board for you.
Oh, it's already there. It's Caitlyn Jenner, come on, Inappropriate Earl, Gene Simmons. Guys, tweet at Gene Simmons. Get him on the show. Leave a review for Inappropriate Earl on iTunes. I leave them all up, good or bad. You can find us on SoundCloud, and please become a fan of Annabelle's YouTube video. She's got some YouTube stand-up videos, right,
yes,
Annabelle?
I think so, yeah.
And do you have a YouTube page or no?
No, I can't figure it out.
Just look up Annabelle Desisto.
Yes.
On YouTube. She's really, really funny. I think there's a clip of her at the Ventura Comedy Club, maybe Flappers. I don't do Flappers myself, but that's a whole nother podcast. I mean, they're completely out of control there. I mean, they do reverse bringer shows where each audience member brings 8 comics.
That's
it's out of control, Dave and Barbara. But, you know, luckily I'm protected at the Comedy Store where you can see me. It's 8 out of the 7 nights a week. It's my home base. And look for Annabelle all over. She's the best. This has been Inappropriate Earl. Next episode is Ryan Stout coming in.
I love him.
The one. No, please. Ryan would love to hear that you love him. Ryan Stout, super.
I have the biggest crush on him.
Well, best dressed comic and one of the funniest and nicest people in the comedy scene. He is the next episode. But before you listen to Ryan's, listen to Annabelle. Spread the word, share it, tweet it out, all that stuff. It helps the numbers. This has been Earl Skakel and Annabelle checking out. She'll be back.